This will be the top 13 or top 14 things that I think you should do or not do to survive a winter bug out. A lot of us preppers are deluding ourselves into believing we can survive anything. Meow! I'm Huples Cat. Welcome to my new studio for the winter. I'm on a beaver pond. It's beautiful, but it's also deadly. I consider myself well prepared. I consider myself not an expert by any means in winter survival, but I'm knowledgeable, more than probably most. And I've done a lot of camping and kayaking. It's humbling to get out here and camp in a tent without heat in the winter. It's only minus 12 centigrade, minus 15 centigrade. Should be a breeze. It's not. So I've got some lessons I want to share, and you can agree or disagree, and please do so in the comments. Here in South Central Ontario, it's actually the best time of year to do it. It's absolutely beautiful. You don't have to go through the bush. There's no bugs. If you wait for the ground to freeze like this, you have ponds to walk upon like that. That's right, I'm on a frozen beaver pond, and that's about as clickbaity as this video will get. Some of the videos will have me in a different position over there. I lost a lot of stuff because of wind, and I actually got frostbite this morning. Not bad, but it was happening. So I've had to ditch a lot of the video, so I'm out here in the afternoon when it's nice and warm, trying to resurrect the video. First lesson, don't bug out in the winter. Easier said than done. You might have to, and you should prepare for it. If you have a rural retreat somewhere, have a tent to retreat into while you're rebuilding it in case of the fire, etc, etc. Prepare to bug out in the winter. Do your best not to. 2. If you're bugging out in the winter and cars aren't available, and let's be honest, in most bug out situations they may not be, and you have ice and snow on the ground, you need a sled. Carrying the stuff is going to be very difficult because you're going to need to carry an awful lot more stuff in January in the Northern Hemisphere than you do in July. 3rd tip, sleep during the day, move at night. Easier said than done, but if you've prepared the route and you know what you're doing, it shouldn't be too difficult. For example, you should always have a compass on you. This is my new Pocket Box compass. It stayed out in freezing conditions for 3 days and it's fine. Number 4, stow gear correctly. You always want to stow your gear correctly. For example, have your pockets done up. Make sure everything's stowed away. There's my compass. Pocket Box compass works great. You want to make sure that everything is packed carefully so you can get stuff without rooting through everything. Everything is going to be colder and longer than you're used to. Tip number 5, expect to wear double layers. I'm no expert, but I got merino wool thermals. Great, worked wonderful. Really happy with them every time I've tried them on. I've been really hot, too hot really. So I didn't expect to be too cold wearing 1 layer when it was in the middle of the night. Yes, I needed 2 layers of the merino wool thermals. Don't just test stuff out at home or in good weather or in your garage. Get out there and try it. Maybe 1 layer of thermals is good for you. I needed 2 layers after 4 AM and I didn't have them because I never thought I'd need them. Number 6, if you've got a sleeping bag like I have and it's rated down to minus 18 centigrade, round about minus 8 it's going to lose its ability to keep you warm. You will be able to live, but you will not be thriving in it. An inner liner and an minus 18 sleeping bag for me meant that at minus 15 I was freezing cold. How's your family going to cope with that? If you have to bug out in the winter, take a small crowbar and do some break and entry. I have a small crowbar in my car and kind of big ones in the house, but I would take the small crowbar with me. You come across cottages, you come across sheds, break in, get out of the elements, and if you can, create a fire within there in a safe way. If they don't have a fireplace, designate a room and figure out how you can do it. Smash up furniture, do whatever it takes, floorboards. You're going to have to burn stuff to be warm so you don't die. Be very careful you don't die by burning though. That's a horrible way to go. Sleeping in an unheated tent in a bug out in the winter is the last resort and not a good one. Number 7, everything takes 4 times as long in the cold or even longer. We all like numbers and they give credence to what we say. Did you know that in conditions like this it takes 4 times longer to do anything than it would if it's a normal temperature of like 18 centigrade? I just made that up. Sounds good though. But what I can tell you is everything will take a lot longer in the cold, a lot longer. When I made the Pocket Box twig burner, it took me about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and it was really difficult to do it. When I made it in the house, feeling fine and nice, warm temperatures, it took me about 30 seconds. It took an awful lot longer outside and my fingers were like dying, freezing cold. When I took the tent down this morning, it took me a lot longer than I anticipated. About 3 to 4 times longer than it normally would. Everything takes a lot longer in the cold. Whatever you normally eat, expect to double that amount of calories, especially if you're walking and moving. It takes a lot of energy just to keep warm in these types of conditions. And you might get hungry, but if you get really hungry, you could die because you actually need the energy from food, from fat specifically and glycogen in your body to actually not die when it's this cold. I'm getting very, very cold not doing anything filming this. Pack well, pack for a long duration. It's going to take you an awful lot longer to travel. Now I've got the beaver pond open. It's frozen solid, so I can actually hop through beaver ponds and make a real fast journey. Faster than on foot in the summer. Make sure you have paper maps. Don't be reliant on batteries. Batteries will fail in this type of heat. Have a small solar panel, like a BioLite one of the solid ones, and use it for minimal recharging of flashlights. Don't be using a lot of flashlights. Like I say, be careful. Try and travel at night, sleep during the day when it's warm. I can tell you that frostbite, much like human-caused climate change, is very real. Once it starts to happen, you're in trouble. You have to examine yourself. That's why you want a little mirror, which I'm not that happy I don't have one in the compass, because that's where I usually carry a mirror, it's in the side of compass. You want to check this out, any waxy, cold, pale areas. For example, my nose gets really, really cold. I have to watch that. And the cheekbones and the glasses. I use plastic frames, and you probably want to use plastic frames in these temperatures, not metal ones. So you want to do whatever you can to avoid frostbite. That means you want to have 2 or 3 layers between your unmentionables and the external environment, especially if you're going to be walking into the wind. It's not a great idea. Wind is going to make frostbite much more likely. Being damp because of sweating or because of rain is going to make frostbite much more likely if the temperatures drop. Be aware of it, know the signs and symptoms, know the treatments of it, and act early. If your bug out comes to a complete halt for 3 days because you have to crash in somebody's abandoned house and smash up their furniture to keep warm because you're getting frostbite, or to avoid external weather that's really, really bad, do it. Don't hesitate. This applies year round. Do you have somewhere to bug out to? An awful lot of preppers actually have nowhere to go, vague ideas of going into the forest here and surviving for months by shooting deer and doing other things that are going to magically make them survive. I'm telling you right now, I'm no expert in winter survival, but I've been here over a year. I know this area very well. Without massive amounts of supplies, I will die if I try and live in this forest in the winter. Summer's going to be pretty brutal. The winter, I'm in deep trouble. I need to be able to ice fish. I need to be able to trap. I need to have a whole bunch of food stored up, because both fishing and hunting are extremely unreliable, and both of them are going to cause huge calorie burn. Just walking around and living in this type of temperature is going to take 5,000 to 6,000 calories. Once you start not getting an inadequate food intake in these conditions, you're going to get hypothermia, frostbite, and die quite quickly. Peacefully, doesn't feel that bad. You feel hot and take everything off and walk around naked and then drop down dead. You're much more at risk than you are when the temperatures are above freezing. So you need to have the gear, you need to practice with the gear, and you need to be confident with the gear. I have none of those things, and I've been doing this for a bit now, off and on, and so I'm going to go out again in February and I'm going to try again. I want to get it so I can sleep and be comfortable. I do think sleeping during the day is the best thing to do, but obviously there are limitations to travelling at night, specifically in rural and in urban areas. But for me, I actually have a clear line of sight of where to go around here. Woodpecker. For those of you observing, I think, well, Huples is okay, he's got a place to live up there, why is he bugging out? Place could burn down, could be taken out. Lots of things could happen that make me have to move in January or February. I don't want to, I'm not planning to. It's going to be a last resort. My original idea was to walk the several hundred miles from Newmarket to here in a bug out situation, and I had some snowshoes and I had some gear and I thought I'd be fine. The truth of it is I would have died. The truth of it is I would never have made it. The truth of it is you need a really big sled and you need 1 pradle. So me and Kitty would need 2. And the truth is the animals would never have made it. It's really, really tough. To actually walk in this sort of stuff for these conditions will take forever. And if you don't bug out and you live in suburbia and it's minus 10 centigrade and you don't have a chimney, what's going to happen to you? People worry about how to deal with this. There's lots of things online about putting a tent in the house, on top of a mattress, stuff like that. Next time it's minus 10 or even minus 5, take an old mattress, put it out in the garden and put a tent on it and see how comfortable you are. Think about it. This is not going to be anything other than very, very painful. If it's a local area issue, you're going to get evacuated, you're going to get help as long as you can survive. So you want to survive. If it's a national or a transnational, an international incident that has meant civilization has stumbled or has stopped forever or for a while, you're on your own. You have to get through. If it happens today, I have to get through until May. I've got to get through 4 months of intense cold. I'm fairly confident I could give it a go. I'll need luck. How confident are you? You might have 3 or 4 months of food stored up, but what are you going to do in May when you've run out of food? Do you have heating? Well, you have propane, right? I know a lot of people online use propane as an emergency backup. I would use wood for obvious reasons, but the thing of it is, how much propane do you have? How long will it last? That we're prepping to survive anything. A lot of preppers online are deluding themselves, I know I am, into believing that I can survive anything. I'm going to give it a go. But to actually be able to survive anything, you need an awful lot of luck. But you need a lot of preparation. And the preparations that are typical, which is grocery haul videos ad nauseum, which teach you nothing, and all the rest of the types of video people are digesting day after day online, aren't really going to help you survive at all any type of SHTF. Because frankly, it's not going to happen. That's not going to be what you need to survive. Knowing that Mrs. Whatever can do this with the canner, or Mr. X went to Walmart and bought $50 worth of white rice and beans, how on earth does any of those videos actually help you survive? Now, if you're watching my channel for entertainment, I hope I'm entertaining, but my bigger hope is that you will teach me how to actually survive in the real, something if goes wrong. And I'm hoping that the collective, we can all improve our individual chances of survival. This isn't for entertainment purposes or to get me AdSense. I don't care. I just want to make sure that I will survive as far as I can anything that comes at me. Because I think things are coming at us, and I think they're coming real fast. And you can pick whatever you want to decide that I mean by that, but I don't think our society's got that much longer where it can do things like allow me to use YouTube and buy really nice coats from Canadian manufacturers who are ethical. That sort of thing, I think, may well be coming to an end. It's a shame. I was hoping it would end long after my death, but I have a horrible feeling it will not. And I want to go out on my own terms as comfortable as possible. And freezing to death at 4 a.m. somewhere in a forest, because I'm an idiot and I thought I could bug out there with my bug out bag, isn't my idea of fun. Nor should it be yours. Have practical, realistic, and sane methods to deal with whatever comes along. Take your time, think about it. Think of worst case, think of best case. Be realistic. You can't prep for everything. Life's risk. That's why it's so much fun. That's it from me. I hope you really enjoyed this. If you didn't, I'm sorry. And if you did, you can always send me loads of money. Please share this and subscribe. Or don't subscribe and don't share it. I really couldn't care less. What I want you to do, if you can, is comment and make a comment below that isn't nasty, that is mature and adult, that actually adds to the video. I'd love that. Doodles. But for modern humans, just to grab our tech gear and just head into the forest, when it's this cold, you'll die. This video has been brought to you by Cute Terry Production 2023. Gonna come camping, Wolfie? Wanna go camping outside? Apparently not. Hi, me again. If you've watched to this point, I thank you very much. Think about this. It's January. It's really cold. Something's gone horribly wrong and it's colder than it should be in your area. What are you going to do? Can you stay warm? Can you stay dry? Can you stay hydrated? Can you stay fed with high calorie food? Can you be secure? Is the area itself going to cause any risk to you? Think about that. Think about getting the building blocks in place to stay dry, to stay warm, to stay hydrated, and to stay fed, and to stay sheltered and safe if anything goes wrong in your local environment any day of the year, not just when it seems to be a good day to go out there and practice camping. For the 50th day of my walking streak, I actually shot a video on the way back where I actually discussed the lessons from my overnight camping. And I think I accidentally deleted pretty much all of that video, but that's life, right? My lessons are pretty straightforward. They're pretty easy. But I do want to thank the Grey Fox for giving me some really good tips and stuff I'm definitely going to use. So that's it from me, Huples Cat, somewhere in south central Ontario, standing on a lake that's frozen, hoping it stays frozen for a little while longer. Doodles.